Hello, welcome to the Sermon Podcasting Mini Course, Lesson 3. We're going to talk about the recorder. We're going to start out by talking about choosing a recorder. Then we're going to go into setting up the recorders that I recommend. Then we're going to show you how to record the sermon using these recorders. So there are two recorders I would recommend. The first one is the Closer Sharing Sermon Recorder. In full disclosure, this is developed by me and is part of a sermon podcasting platform. So you have to be a subscriber to use it, but with the subscription, so much of the work is done for you. I believe it's worth every penny. If you're interested in skipping right to the absolute easiest and least time-consuming way of getting your sermons online, click on the button below and get signed up. But as I said earlier, my desire here is to help you get the word out, whether or not you choose Closer Sharing. So that brings me to my second option, Audacity. This is a really nice freeware audio recorder. After a little setup, it has what you need to capture and encode your sermon. This is what I used for years until I developed Closer Sharing. As you'll see as we progress through the lessons, it's a bit more work each week, but it's free. So let's start with the Closer Sharing Sermon Recorder. So this is the sermon recorder, and it is built with sermon recording specifically in mind. It gives you a place to put in all the sermon information. And first off, let me hit record here. So while we're doing this, it is recording and doing its thing. So it's built with sermon recording in mind. So there's all the sermon information right here in the middle. And you can edit this stuff while the sermon's going on. So you can see you can change this to part 5, whatever. You can change whatever you need. And it remembers all this stuff so it's available later. It remembers the series and the speaker and the different services that you have at your church. So if I was to change this to a different series, like the Spiritual Vision, for instance, it will change the series image and all the information here to the last one recorded. So now I can change this to part 4, and we're recording part 4 now. And it has an input meter and output meter, and there's some stuff going on in here in the middle, one of which is automatic gain compensation, which turns the gain up and down as you record based on the input level. So if your pastor starts talking real soft, it'll start turning up for you. And if he starts talking real loud, it'll turn down for you. So to keep an even level so every word is understandable. But what we want to talk about is this input meter here. And as you can see right now, I have a really good healthy signal. What you want to set this at is a nice level that's up here toward the top in between the 10 and the 0, and that never ever hits 0. So if your pastor really preaches and gets really loud at times, when he gets really loud, you want it to be right up here toward the top, but never hitting 0, because 0 sounds bad. And that's the way you set it. And if you remember back to one of the earlier lessons, that would be the gain knob on your aux output for that channel, and that will send it over here to the recorder. So that's how you set up the gain, and everything else is being done here. So you can pause in the middle. That way, like during a prayer or something like that, it's not recording anymore. And I hit resume, it starts recording again. So you can skip prayers if somebody is manning this. And then after the fact, if you hit stop, you can hit edit here and trim the beginning and end, or in the middle, and trim it all up so there's editing capability built in. And then when you're ready, you just hit upload. And now you can leave the sound booth because it'll do its thing and it'll be online. So honestly, with hitting that stop button right there, you can skip the entire next 2 lessons because it did everything in the next 2 lessons for you. So that is the beauty of the Closer Sharing and its sermon recorder, is it takes care of a whole lot of stuff. Now let's move on to Audacity and talk about how to set it up and use it to record your sermon if you want to save a little bit of money. Okay, so here we are in Audacity. And as you can see, there's the control buttons up here, and there's metering right here. And this is like the input meter of the Closer Sharing recorder that we looked at. You have to click it to get it started though. And now you can see I have audio flowing through. One thing I would mention is, as you can notice, this is only coming in on one side. Generally that's going to be the case because you're dealing with a mono source of a microphone of the pastor or the speaker. So you want to go here in the middle and change this to mono. And then it doesn't change the look of things, but it does change the way it records it. So now once you have the mono source, you're ready to record. So let's go ahead and hit record here. And you can see that audio is being written down now. And one thing I want to mention about this click to monitor thing is it does not send audio through to your outputs. So you wouldn't have to worry about the feedback loop I was talking about, but you won't be able to listen to it either. They do have a setup where you can listen to it. Let me stop this for a second. And if you go to edit and preferences, and you go down here to recording and select that, there's a checkbox called software playthrough of input. So that would change it to where when you're monitoring, it's actually going to come out the outputs. But once again, like with the Closer Sharing recorder, you need to make sure that you're not looping back to the recorder again from your soundboard. So otherwise you're going to have a loop. So, but anyway, this allows you to listen through if you're listening for that buzz or hiss or hum or any of that stuff that we talked about in the earlier lessons. So I'm going to leave that off for now, but that does allow you to do that. One other setup issue that you need to take care of in Audacity is it does not have the ability out of the box to write to an MP3 file or any type of file for that matter other than its own format. So if you go here and hit save project, it'll tell you save project is for an Audacity project, not for an audio file. For an audio file that will open in other apps, use export. So you can save this here and you can open it back up in an Audacity or another Audacity program on a different computer or something. So if you needed to work on it at home, you could save it off and then take it with you on a jump drive and then open it up in the other one and do your editing and that type of thing. That is possible. It is very large files, so it's slow. But if you need that workflow, it is possible. One thing we know we need though is the ability to export to a MP3 file to put online. To do that, you go to the File menu, Export, and export as MP3. That's that there, and if you hit save now, it's going to yell at you and say, hey, I don't know how to save to MP3s because it doesn't come with that out of the box. So what we have to do is go download something. So if you click on download here, it will take you to, I opened that in the wrong screen, it will take you to this page right here. And I'm on a Windows machine here, so I'm going to hit the LAME installation section. And it tells you step by step of how to do it right here. So we're going to click on the LAME download page. And I'm a little bit leery a lot of times, so I wanted to check this out. And I did some Googling, and it seems like these files are safe. But they do stuff like this, which makes you a little nervous. This is not the button to download it. And there's some other ads and stuff. But anyway, so we're going to click the LAME for Windows EXE. And then hit save file, and I'm in Firefox here, so it downloads up into this little area right here. And you click on the file, and it's going to warn me and say, I don't know if I should trust this file, which came up on my other screen also. And I just say yes, and then it's running me through the setup here. So I'll hit next, and next again. And it's putting it in a LAME for Audacity directory, which is where we want to leave it. Otherwise, you're going to go find it again in Audacity. But anyway, and I hit install and finish. Okay, now we have it. So let me get out of that and close that down. And I should be able to hit OK, I think. No. Let's try that again. So save. So now we're to the point where it will actually, I'm not going to tag anything and just hit OK and make sure it goes. Yep. Okay. It encoded it. So now we're set up. So we're going to stop there for this lesson. If you have any questions about this lesson, feel free to contact me at dan@closersharing.com.